Nawal and Naeem is a young Emirati entrepreneur that started off as a small local home business sweet shop that turned into a full fledged restaurant serving breakfast, sweets, desserts, and
Nawal
much more. Graduated from the Higher Colleges of Technology with a bachelor in security and networking in the IT field. She also worked in an IT company for 8 years prior to starting her restaurant. She has a certificate of CCNA, which is a Cisco certificate. Throughout her journey, Nawal faced many hardships, such as competition, lack of budget, lack in market insight, lack of support from her friends. However, with adversity and perseverance, she was able to overcome these challenges one by one and created her ideal restaurant called Paper Fig. One of the most important aspects of creating a business that many young entrepreneurs underestimate is the budget and the startup capital that is needed. Nawal was no excuse in that matter. She herself found the budget to be the first challenge that she had to overcome. In order to do so, Nawal gained help and support from her husband, in which he provided a small amount of money from their savings, while Nawal also went to the Sharjah Foundation of Youth, in which they granted her a sum of money which helped with her startup capital. Once solving the budget issue, Nawal soon later found herself stuck in another problem, which dealt with the market insight. Nawal had experience of 8 years in the IT department. However, her experience and knowledge in the culinary world only amounted to a small local home business. Switching from a local home business to a restaurant requires a great amount of information and market insight, as managing the operations of both completely different. In order to do this, Nawal used the internet as her guide and friend. Nawal searched up and watched videos on how the market is growing, on which direction most consumers want and take in terms of the menu. Nawal also visited restaurants in Dubai, specifically Last Exit, as that was one of the most prominent areas where basically it was the hub of all restaurants. Similarly, just like with Nawal's market insight problem, she also faced a problem with the consultant agency. She could not find a suitable consultant that would be in her price range and also be someone who embodies her paper fig ideals. Nawal, to combat this, she basically went to the internet, she read articles, reports, she self taught herself everything there is to need to know about how to manage in terms of money, in terms of operations, in terms of people, in order to combat her lack of a professional consultant. When doing our own research about if a consultant is actually needed and if there is a difference between a self taught consultant and a professional one, the answer was that there is no difference. A consultant is basically there to consult you in need when you have a certain problem or issue. With Nawal's case, she had a problem, but she self taught her. Why the step that Nawal did was not something that is out of the ordinary. Many who lack the amount of money to pay for these firms and consultancy agents and such departments usually self teach themselves how to do the work. Also faced great competition when starting out her journey. At the time of 2016 2017, restaurants were booming in Dubai, especially since Nawal wanted to open her restaurant in Sharjah. She found that most customers would go to Dubai. Last Exit opened in Dubai, and there are a lot of restaurants and coffee shops that were opening with a similar idea of her menu in Dubai. She faced great sadness when seeing this. However, Nawal, just like her previous challenges, overcame this one. In order to combat this competitive market and geographical disadvantage, Nawal decided to focus on two primary things. At the time, social media influencers were on the rise. Instagram, Snapchat were all booming. So many influencers were getting paid to do advertisements, and their fans and followers would actually go up and test out the products that were being advertised. Nawaz saw this as a key role in getting the flow of customers from Dubai to Sharjah. Once finding the suitable influencer that would be able to showcase and advertise her restaurant, Nawal decided on the second most important thing. From visiting herself personally, going and visiting these coffee shops and restaurants that were out there and tasting the quality of their product, Nawal noticed one thing, that all of them were somewhat similar. The only difference was the price. The quality was so-so in her terms. So Nawal decided it was a must that for her Paper Fig restaurant to focus on the quality and not just the trend that is happening in the country. She didn't just want to invent new things and attractive looking dishes for customers to come enjoy for a one-time meal. She wanted a consistent flow of customers that would always come back for more. She wanted her quality to be perfect, which is why the second most important thing that she did was make sure that her quality was of the highest standard. A young married Emirati woman, Nawal faced a lot of criticism and judgment from her friends. They supported her idea of the local home business. However, when switching and making the switch to a restaurant, many of them did not like the idea. She had the utmost support from her husband and family. However, when it came to her friends, most of them criticized her and tried to persuade her not to make the jump. That was because of all the uncertainties and risks that were involved. Nawal found and later also stated that they did not do this out of their hate or jealousy towards her. They did this out of the love and concern that they feel towards her. However, by sticking with her husband and only listening to the positivity and blocking out all the negativity, Nawal knew that this was her dream. It was her passion. She left her job for this. She left everything for this. She had to keep going. Nawal persevered and pushed through all of the challenges and overcame all of the crises that came towards her way. And she paved her path to the now bustling restaurant of Paper Fig. Nawal's journey is an inspiration to many. When looking at her journey, we can see that through hard work and perseverance, one can achieve his dreams and goals, never giving up and always pushing through. A famous quote comes to mind when I think of Nawal's journey. We don't plan to fail, but fail to plan. With a properly implemented plan and never giving up and working hard every single day and trying to achieve our goals, we can become anything.